What's up everyone, welcome to a new video from PerFinEx, the #1 English-speaking and independent financial planner in Germany. You wanted updates on our Investing in Germany community investing every month, so here we go with video number 2 with questions that came up from the community either in the comments or in the last consultations. This will hopefully be the last video before our official start. I am very confident that we can start in October to invest together. So let's see the questions. First, let's start with two compliments. One from a name I can't pronounce and one from Axel who's saying, "This is the best initiative ever. Thank you for doing this." I'm just kidding, of course. The first real question comes from Tofu Snow on Instagram. Very good question. He asked, what are the risks? This is a really good question. I like this one a lot because the return will come eventually. That's our job. Your job is to actually take the risk and to sit through the tough times that will come eventually. Not all days will end with a profit. I mean, imagine the start of the pandemic where the worldwide stock market dropped 20% in just a couple of days. And there's nothing you can do. You just need to take the risk and sit through it. So let's see the risks. Let's come back to our SRRI, synthetic risk and reward indicator. Last video we said, do not invest in the risk categories 1 to 4. It's not worth it. Rather check the video on the best savings accounts in Europe if you don't like to take risk. Which is fine. But remember, no risk means no reward. Right? If you'd like to take risk, there's actually two answers to this. The official answer is everything can go to zero. All companies in the world could be, in theory, worthless. Realistically though, that's probably not gonna happen, so the closest we can come to reality is actually in the volatility chart. As SRRI 5 is in 80% bonds from governments and from companies, you can see there's usually not that much volatility. It's 10 to 15%. As SRRI 7 is all in stocks, so during the pandemic we would have lost 20%, or during the global financial crisis of 2008 we would have lost 40 or 50%. You can see the volatility is way above 25%. Of course, the stock market recovered from both already and is at new all-time highs, which shows again, you just need time and confidence that the world will recover. Don't panic. Rather reach out to us if you feel that you're about to panic. We're gonna calm you down. Or maybe we're not gonna answer the phone, then you should panic. Just kidding, of course. Next question comes from Ragazzo Nigio. I'm probably murdering your name so hard. This is a very interesting question, comparing the pros and cons of the different investing strategies. Thank you for that. Let's take a look. The big pro in SRRI 5, our high safety strategy, is that it is by far the most diversified investing strategy, with more than 5,000 companies all over the world. The other strategies are also pretty diversified with about 2,500, which is still pretty good, but not even close to 5K. The con is that a lot has to be invested in bonds in order to stay in this risk category. So only 20% in stocks here, and this is really the maximum that we can do. So the expected return is not that high, but if we actually look over the last 10 years, we had a 5.5% return year over year plus a 4% payout on top in dividends and interest, which is really a lot. Way more than I expected, and I would be very happy to achieve this in the next 10 years. But remember, past performance is no guarantee for future results. The other con is that interest rates are right now super low, and this is also a very political topic. Nobody really knows what's gonna happen with interest rates over the long term, if they're gonna stay that low, if they maybe go even lower, or if they will start to rise again. SRRI 6, our passive income strategy, offers a lot of flexibility. You can do whatever you want with this passive income. You can pay it out and invest it somewhere else. You can reinvest it and use it to diversify. That's what I do, for example, with my current financial situation. If I would get 100 euros in passive income per month, I would just increase my savings rate by this 100 euro and directly reinvest it. And the other pro is that this passive income comes from a lot of real estate and some large companies, we'll see in a minute. So it's a very reliable passive income. The con is, of course, that every time you make a profit, Finanzamt is holding their hands open. So it is not exactly the most tax efficient investing strategy. And for SRRI 7, our high return strategy, this really gives us the most freedom to invest in whatever we feel like. So just to give you one example, one of the ETFs is a private equity ETF that invests completely off market, so in a non-regulated market, but it makes a really nice return too. A nice return usually means also a decent amount of risk, right? So only choose this strategy if you have at least 15 or 20 years of investing horizon. Don't expect short-term gains, actually, in any of these strategies. Next question comes from Raja Krishnan, who's asking about restrictions. This was also a question that came up multiple times in consultation about minimum investments or restrictions. As it looks right now, not sure yet, but the minimum investment will probably be 50 euros per month. Hopefully I can tell you the exact number next time. Other than that, there's no restrictions. A blue card is fine, a PR is fine, a German residency is fine, except if you are a US citizen. Because of this FATCA tax thing with the US and I think a lot of other countries worldwide, Fidelity, like all other brokers in Germany, won't allow you to open an account if you are a US citizen. If you are a US citizen, feel free to reach out. We already found some workarounds that still work. And second part of the comment is how the investments are split up in SRRI 6 passive income. Here you can see the first metric is the worldwide distribution. So we paid attention that about 30% are invested in Europe, 30% in America, and 30% in Asia. So there's really no location bets. But what if it would all be invested in the automotive sector, right? We could invest it in the European, American, and Asian automotive sector. That would still offer a cluster risk. So we need a second metric in the sectors. And we really have a lot of sectors here. We have natural resources, we have consumer goods, financial services. As mentioned before, a lot of real estate. We have telecommunication, energy, manufacturing, tech, non-cyclical consumer goods like toothpaste and toilet paper, what people buy no matter how the economy is, health and utilities. And the third metric is the size of the companies. And here you can see we focused on large companies and value companies for maximum secure and reliable passive income. Next question is from Luna, finally an easy name, about sustainable investing. And here I think we need to clarify on one thing. So SRRI is the synthetic risk and reward indicator, and SRI is social responsible investing. Both of them are not necessarily linked to each other. They can be completely independent. So something that invests very secure can also be very sustainable or not sustainable at all. This is not linked. Here's some examples from the ETFs that we invest in, basically how sustainable they are in percentage. And you can see the highest ETF that is part of our investing strategies has 98% out of 100% in the sustainability score, which is pretty good if you ask me. How did they calculate this? So here's an example rating of the ESG, environmental, social, and governance, and every ETF gets a rating. You get a high rating in environmental if you are a climate efficient company and if you produce none or very little carbon. You get a high social rating if you treat your employees equal, if you respect human rights, if you offer health benefits and safety for your employees, have no child labor, and you get a high rating in governance if you have good business ethics, if you are compliant, and if you're not exploiting any loopholes in regulation. And last question comes from Sabrina, who's asking if we can include our investing strategies in company pension. This is an absolutely beautiful idea I didn't think of, so thank you for that. The current plan is that we will hopefully start by October 1st, and then we'll see how it goes. If you guys are interested in combining these investing strategies with the company pension, we'll start to work on this. It is possible, but it's also a lot of work. So a lot of people would need to show interest in that in order to justify this work. If you have any more questions before the official start, let us know in the comments. And if you like to start invest with us, but you don't want to check YouTube constantly for new videos, there's a link with a mailing list in the description where we will send you these investing in Germany updates. Nothing more. We are very respectful with your data, so you will only get these investing in Germany updates. See you next week with a regular video, and hopefully next month with the official start of our community investing. Happy weekend, investors.